Welcome to AmeenAcademy.com. Let us do the real heroes of India freedom fighters, Moulana Abul Kalam Azad. Moulana Abul Kalam Azad was a prominent leader in India's independence movement and key figure in the country's education system. He was born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia in 1888. Azad was a descendant of a lineage of Islamic scholars. He was inspired by the writings of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and became a journalist, publishing works that criticized the British Raj. Azad was a leader of the Khilafat movement and a supporter of Mahatma Gandhi's civil disobedience and non-cooperation movement. He was imprisoned multiple times between 1922 to 1945. After independence in 1947, Azad served as India's first education minister until 1958. He established the Central Institute of Education, Delhi, which later became a Department of Education of the University of Delhi. He also played a key role in the establishment of Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, in 1951, and the University Grant Commission UGC in 1953. Azad was a member of the Constituent Assembly and contributed to debates on education and national language. He also established the Indian Council of Cultural Relations to strengthen cultural ties between India and other countries in the East. Azad was posthumously awarded India's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna, in 1992. His birthday is celebrated as a National Education Day across in India. Abul Kalam Azad, born November 11, 1888 in Mecca, now in Saudi Arabia, died February 22, 1958 in New Delhi, India, was an Islamic theologian who was one of the leaders of the Indian independence movement against British rule in the first half of 20th century. He was highly respected through his life as a man of high moral integrity. He adopted the name of Azad, that is free, to which the honorific Maulana, a title meaning master applied to Islamic scholars, was commonly prefixed. He was a fierce opponent of the partition of India and served as the country's first Minister of Education and Independence in 1947. The family and education. Azad was the son of an Indian Muslim scholar and his Arab wife living in Mecca. The family moved to Calcutta when Azad was young and he received a traditional Islamic education at home from his father and other Islamic scholars rather than at a madrasa, that is Islamic school. However, he was also influenced by the emphasis that Indian educator Syed Ahmad Khan placed on getting as rounded education, and he learned English without his father's knowledge. Journalist and political career. Azad became active in journalism when he was in his late teens. And in 1912, he began publishing a weekly Urdu language newspaper in Calcutta, Al Hilal, that the Crescent. The paper quickly became highly influential in Muslim community for its anti-British stance, notably for its criticism of Indian Muslims who were loyal to the British. Al Hilal was soon banned by British authorities, as was a second weekly newspaper that Azad had started. By 1916, he had been banished to Ranchi in present day Jharkhand state, where he remained until the beginning of 1920. In Calcutta, he joined the Indian National Congress and galvanized India's Muslim community through an appeal to pan-Islamic ideologies. He was particularly active in the short-lived Khilafat movement in 1920 to 24, which defended the Ottoman Sultan as the Caliph, he had of the worldwide Muslim community, and even briefly enlisted the support of Mahatma Gandhi. Association with Gandhi. Azad and Gandhi became a close, and Azad was involved in Gandhi's various civil disobedience satyagraha campaigns, including the Salt March 1930. He was imprisoned several times between 1920 to 1945, including for his participation in anti-British Quit India movement during World War II. Azad was president of the Congress Party in 1923 and again in 1940 to 46, though the party was largely inactive during much of his second term, since nearly all of its leadership was in prison. Post independence career. After the war, Azad was one of the Indian leaders who negotiated from Indian independence with the British. He tirelessly advocated for a single India that would embrace both Hindus and Muslims while strongly opposing the partition of British India into independent India and Pakistan. He later blamed both Congress party leaders and Muslim League leader Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the founder of Pakistan, for a ultimate division of the subcontinent. When post-partition riots broke out, Azad appealed to Muslims to keep the peace and remain in India, giving a historic speech at the Jummah Masjid in Delhi. In 1946, Azad was elected to the Constituent Assembly that drafted the Constitution of Independent India, serving on five separate committees. One of the most prominent members of the Assembly, Azad participated in debates that centered on language and education. After India became independent on August 15, 1947, Azad served as a Minister of Education in the government of Jawaharlal Nehru, the country's first Prime Minister, from 1947 until his death a decade later. During his tenure, Azad made rural and women's education priority and was instrumental in establishing many of India's top institutions of higher learning, such as the Jamia Millia Islamia in Aligarh, Uttar Pradesh, and the first Indian Institute of Technology. He also founded the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, a government organization fostering cultural exchange between India and other countries. So far, we discussed about India freedom fighter Abul Kalam Azad. We had done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.